So coming back to advertising then, sir, now when we go into say advertising for public service is what the regulators and policymakers retreats are really all about.
Yes.
Do you think Indian advertising has done a good job in say when it comes to something like say Nirod, where birth control has been,
I think they've done a lousy job on the road, but I would like to say that some years ago, when I did a film for the Family Planning Foundation, which was very unusual, and in a brief thing I'll tell you, it's just a one-shot film. There's a jar, a burnie, a glass jar, and a male hand puts a tomato in it, puts another tomato in it, puts a third tomato in it, and then takes the lid and forces it down, and the tomatoes burst.
Right.
And it just says, Ek ya do bas. And it zooms into the tomatoes bursting. And we showed it in villages and we did tests and all that. It was amazing how a simple idea, just one shot, with just a very, very vivid, dramatic, emotional visual. People felt when the tomato bursted, they all do this sort of thing, And then when it says Ek ya do bas, the feedback is that you will in some way damage your children if you have too many children. And that was voted in that year as the most outstanding symbolic film ever made in the last 10 years. I think Japanese TV gave it that award. So yes, we can transcend, we can make these things. The biggest problem, as Rahul Bajaj told me when I was doing his campaign, Hamara Bajaj, he said, Alex Saab, you've got to see, at that time, not it's changed now, I don't need a market. My Bajaj, I'm selling everything I make in India. Such a huge market. Why do I need to go abroad? I'm not interested. And that was true. He was selling millions just in India.
Right.
And that's one of the things. India, like America, is not just a country, it's a continent.
Right.
When you're talking about 1 billion people, 1.2 billion now, but the time will come, and the time has already come, when India has to produce brands. If Finland, a small country, can produce Nokia, what are we doing? If Sweden, as a small country, can produce a car, which is now known as and the safest car in the whole world, right? What are we doing? I have given a talk to the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers last year. And I said, it's amazing we can't produce a single international brand. First, I don't think there's the will. Secondly, they're shy of the kind of money you've got to spend. If you want to go international, you'd have to have a kitty of at least $100 million. But $100 million sounds like a lot. But if you divide 100 million by 5, what does it come to? It comes to 20 crores. What's 20 crores? There are lots of budgets in India, way over 20 crores. So I think it's a kind of psychosis. Indians have for so long, because of the Nehru years, shouldn't spend dollars. Dollars was the big thing. But when you think about dollars, it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's now what, 4.5. So 4.5 crores is $1 million. So if you have 4.5 crores, you're a millionaire.
Right.
Which flat in Bombay, 2-bedroom flat, every 2-bedroom flat in Bombay is worth 5 crores. So that means those owners are all millionaires. All the people who live in 2-bedroom flats in Bombay are millionaires. But they don't think of it like that. They say, 4.5 crores zarur milega. Are 5 bhi 6 ho sakta hai. Not thinking, my God, that's $1 million, $1.5 million. We have this kind of it's time we changed our attitude. We are a big country, we have a fantastic future, and in fact this whole IPPI conference is bringing out the fact that we are much bigger than we think we are.
Right.
With China and India are going to be the superpowers of the next, not the next decade, but the decade after that. I would say from about 2030 onwards, these two will be the biggest, bigger than America.
Yes, and since internet will be very big, do you think advertising will change because there's interactivity and...
Yes, but internet, for some, you see, unless internet now can create a device which when you plug it in, you can get it on the big screen with that sharp clarity. It will never grow beyond a small kind of, well, it's a very nice intellectual pursuit and all that. And I love surfing the net and this and that. But as an entertainment medium, it needs a bigger screen.
Right.
Huh?
Right, sir. So, Security Watch India is one of the organizations that
Yeah.
is associated with this conference.
Right.
And Security Watch India hosts conferences throughout Indian cities where we look at security issues.
Yes.
So we'd like to know, you researched your role in Jinnah, which was in the classic movie Gandhi,
Yes, yes.
made by Sir Richard Attenborough.
Right.
Do you think, sir, if I'd pose you a question and you were Jinnah,
Yeah.
would you like to have seen Pakistan the way it is today, and would you like to have seen India the way it is today and our relations the way they are today?
No, 100% no. I think the study I made of Muhammad Ali Jinnah was that he was a true patriotic Indian until he was snubbed by the Congress party. And then he decided in the 30s, remember he was the president of the Congress party when Gandhi came to India, he was the president. Now also he was a very, an autocratic man. He felt that he was not just an ordinary mortal, he felt he was above that. And he was a very highly paid barrister in London. He spoke impeccable English, he dressed impeccably. He was one of the 10 best dressed men in the whole of the British Empire. That's why I wear all those very elegant suits in the film. And he believed very sincerely in secularism. He just said that he felt that the Muslims were getting a raw deal, and Gandhiji, not Gandhiji so much, but Nehru and Patel, Sardar Patel, were ganging up against him to make it into a Hindu country. And so he went away to England, he self-exiled. Very disappointed man. Then when the idea of Pakistan was mooted by Surhawadi and Liaquat Ali Khan, and they said no one else can lead it except Jinnah, and they went to Jinnah, and Jinnah said yes. I think it was more a matter of ego than anything else. He wanted to be Prime Minister, and he thought Gandhi had wiggled his way in, as to be the guru of India, and then suddenly appointed this young chap, Nehru, as the Prime Minister, so which was on the cards even before Pakistan was thought of. So he opted for Pakistan, but if you read his very interesting Independence Day speech, 1947, 14th, not 15th, but 14th of August, he talks about there are no second-class citizens in Pakistan. Everyone, regardless of their religion, whether Hindu, Muslim, Parsi, Christian, Sikh, there will be one law for all.